Saturday, the 27th? 28th? 27th. We are on the Mediterranean coast, just across the border from Spain, which is over there behind me. I think the further headland of the two. We pushed down south today with the intent of getting close to the Pyrenees, which are there behind me. So it's been a long time in the van today, so we are just enjoying the evening. Unfortunately, there is no beach. There's a route down somewhere, because he got down there, and he's no young whippet. Let's see which way he comes back out. There is a route down, or the route he came back up anyway, but probably best not to tempt it in my cheapo thongs that I bought in Bali last year, which are beginning to fall apart. We are Sunday the 28th of June, and it's warm. We are in the town of Cerbère, don't know,
something like that.
Not sure how it's pronounced. The last town in France before the Spanish border on this particular road. So our plan this morning is to pop down to the Spanish border, have a look, have a wave, and then come back and then head west into the Pyrenees. It is not the prettiest of beaches, but it is a beach nonetheless. The temperature at, I don't know what we are, probably 11 o'clock, is around about 29 degrees. And last night was by far the hottest night we've had here. The van doors were wide open and we were still cooking in the van. Even though it was really blustery later in the afternoon, by the time the night had come, the winds had completely disappeared. Still, the joys of southern France in the middle of summer. So somewhere on that rock face is the Spanish-French border. I think it's probably over to the left. So that is the Spanish coast stretching down away in front of Céret. It does look rather nice down there. A beach accessible only by boat. It is a lot calmer today than what it was yesterday. And looking back to the north, we have the town of Cerbère and the French coast stretching away. The old France-Spain border post. A good reminder about how stupid we are in the UK. Free movement of people across the United Europe, but not the UK. We've only come to have a look. We're actually going to be heading back north and then west along the Pyrenees. Our pursuit for cool air has brought us into the foothills of the Pyrenees and this cracking little town of Céret. There seems to be a number of squares. This is number 2, or in fact maybe number 3. Although this one is isolated from the roads, the others are not. But the locals are having a chill time. We have lunched, albeit in the van, not too far from here. Karen is shading under a tree. It is still very warm. We've got a long way to go up yet. And I'm aiming for a mountain pass for the night. Not quite Ventoux altitudes, but hopefully around about 5,000 feet, which should bring us much cooler temperatures. because last night was ridiculous. But in the meantime, we will continue with our little wander around the streets of Céret. Not 5 meters away, and we have another square. This one, clearly the church square. And a rather imposing church it is too. I am unprepared. I have not checked on Wiki to get any interesting facts or the background of the town. So if anything jumps out, I'll stick it down below. In this part of France, we are in the region of Catalan. So the Catalonian flag is prominent in most places. Just check out the carvings on that window and the balcony above. What a cracking little town. Paella and a sing-along for Sunday lunch. I think the paella has been scoffed. And in between the songs, I have the opportunity to get a bit of video and some pictures of the La Voix. The town has a cool vibe. Unfortunately, it's not cool enough in the temperature sense. I think it's 32 degrees when I pulled up. So we need to go further up into the mountains. We have been steadily climbing up into the mountains, although the temperature has only dropped by 2.5 degrees. We've just passed a sign for a lookout point, so we've jumped out the van to go and see if it's worth the effort. If it wasn't worth the effort, there we go, but I'm sure it will be. Oh yeah, no beard. That came off this morning. Despite there being a whopping great big car park, or parking area, and a path alongside the road, apparently it doesn't go anywhere. So we've stopped for no reason. Actually, there is something here, but it is somewhat overgrown. There is a deep gorge, but it's not really visible given the trees down below me. So, was it worth the effort? Most definitely not. But we got out of the car, we stretched our legs. Having returned to the car park and jumped back in the car and set off again, back up the valley, I realised why there was a car park. Because just on the other side of the car park, there is this whopping great big bridge across the ravine. Karen has opted to stay in the air-conditioned comfort of the van, but I'm going to walk across and have a look down. It's not actually that deep, but it is beautiful down there, and that water looks incredibly inviting. We're still a few kilometres short of the col, but we have come across the village Prats-de-Mollo-la-Preste, or something like that, which apparently is one of the beautiful villages of France. And as it's one of the beautiful villages of France, we're going to go and have a look. It looks like there was a market, but it's quite late in the afternoon now, so that is closed. But we'll have a wander up to the old village centre. We're off to a very good start. So far, in our climb up to the col, the temperature has dropped by about 3.5 degrees. So I think it's still 31, or was when we got out of the van. I'm really hoping it will get down below 30 degrees by the time we get to the coal. If not, we'll take what we get. It won't be as stuffy as it was last night, that's for sure. Of course, the church is right at the top, so we'll take a slow walk up. Check out all the swifts. Feeding, I guess. Yes, again, Karen has sniffed out the Voix. Big old one. And then looking down on the church from above is the fort. We are most definitely not walking up there this evening. The Catalonian, the French and the Euro flags all together.
More steps.
The drive up to the coal from the last village was very steep. We've come a long, long way up. And conversely, the temperature has dropped. So we're quite pleased about that. I think it was about 24.5 degrees when I parked the van up. I'm assuming that rather desolate looking building was once border control of some form. I am in France right now, and I'm not sure exactly where the line is, but certainly about 10 meters in front of me, I'll be in Spain. We have parked in Spain, and the views we have are down into Spain. And the sun, which you can see up there somewhere, will be setting down behind that big hill. Well, that big mountain, of course, because we are up in the Pyrenees. So we should get a decent sunset. It's about 7:05 now, and the temperature is just about right. Probably under 24 degrees, with a nice bit of bright sunshine. It is a car park, but it's a cool car park. I don't think we'll be getting a sunset over the mountain tonight. Not looking at that cloud. Well, we certainly got what we asked for. It's blooming cold up here.